Coming to class on Thursday. Did something just happen? Did you break your leg? I'm not sure. Be very clear in what you're asking, and then remind your professor, who you are, what class you're in. So again, very straightforward, but that is the best and most succinct way to be able to address a professor, to get addressed what you need addressing within an email. We've spent a fair amount of time on email. Please check your Lipscomb email. This is a battle that we have with many students over 4 years of time being here at the university. You will miss very important information, and in fact, information that could keep you from graduating if you do not regularly check your Lipscomb email. Once a week, not sufficient. Once a day, okay. I would suggest multiple times a day. This also seems really obvious and absurd that we would even announce this, but historically we know this can be a challenge. Be sure it is a priority, because it is a source of important information. Being able to comb through an email inbox when you get a lot of important messages, that also is a professional skill that you will need to develop over time. So just start practicing now. It's great.
And I would suggest just linking your school email to the mailbox you have on your iPhone or your Samsung. And I would allow notifications to come to you as well. And I would just check that throughout the day. Just keep reloading that mailbox. I know I do. It's the most important way, especially if you know something's supposed to be coming, something you need to hear about soon. Just that's the way you're going to hear about everything you need to know.
And you will have announcements from time to time that are coming from your instructors or the university that are things that you want to know in real time and not find out about 3 hours later, including say maybe a professor has to miss a class and they're telling you 10 minutes before they're not going to be there. You want to know that, especially if you're still in your dorm room, in your bed, in your pajamas. So check your email because you'll get that information in a timely way. So one component that's a part of Lipscomb Experience, but is also integrated to other elements of your course curriculum here at Lipscomb, is a focus on cross-cultural learning and understanding. The program that supports this focus on cross-cultural engagement is called the LIGHT Initiative. And again, it's a part of things you will do in your Lipscomb Experience class and in other courses that you'll have here at the university. One of the great pieces of programming we have through this initiative this academic year is a focus on the book Hidden Figures that is serving as our common read for this academic year. That doesn't necessarily mean that it will be required for you as an individual to read this book, but we will have programming and events going on throughout the year that will be connected to Hidden Figures, the book that was made into a movie a couple of years ago. You probably heard of it. Mm-hmm. The author of the book will be on campus for a speaking engagement on February. We also plan to screen the film. We hope the film screenwriter will also be here on campus. So just be mindful of that as we're moving forward, that this is one component of academic programming that's coming up for you this year. One other resource for you to know about is through the university, you have an online tool that helps you chart your path towards graduation. So you have built your first semester schedule. So after you have those classes, after they are underway, you are out the gate and moving towards graduation. An online resource called My Degree Plan will help you, along with your advisor, figure out the class schedule that you're going to take, what classes you need to graduate, and chart your progress towards graduation. This also serves as a great tool if you wanted to do some what-if analysis where you're like, I'm thinking about business, but I might also want to do education, or I want to double major in philosophy and biology. How would I do that? You can enter in those what-if queries into My Degree Plan, and it will help show you, okay, this is what classes you would take. Here's some classes that would count for both of those programs. This is something for you to know about, not today necessarily. But when you hear about it during the midterms time and advising time, know that this is a great resource for you as well. It is also found off of your My Lipscomb dashboard. So you only have one thing left to do, and we're finished for this morning. I am going to address the questions that I had, but I want everyone to take out that blank 3x5 card that you were given at the beginning of the session. If you didn't receive one, just raise your hand. We have some. Your exit ticket for today is to write, raise your hand high just so they can see, thank you. Your exit ticket for today is to write a minimum of 1 question, up to 3 questions you would like answered around academic life here at Lipscomb. So you have to do this. 1 question to 3 questions that you like answered about academic life here at the university. I will collect these. Our time together on Friday will be exclusively about asking and answering these questions. So almost the sky is the limit. Anything related to academic life or student success here at the university, they're anonymous. You can put your name on it if you want, but you don't have to. And then when you leave, we're going to collect them up here at this front table. But while you're thinking about that, let me go ahead and answer the questions that were asked. So for those of you who have a real stacked schedule, you have back-to-back classes, maybe you have 10 minutes between classes and you have to go from this building, Ezel, over to McFarland, which is a little far away. First, I would suggest know exactly where your classrooms are, so you're not scrambling to find those locations. Also, see how long does it actually take me to get from point A to point B. You may be able to get to McFarland in 5 minutes. It may take you 12, so you'll have to figure that out. But once you do, just let your professor know. You can say, hey, Dr. Schatzer, right after your class, I have to be over in McFarland, and so I'm just really cognizant of time when class is ending so I can get over there and not be late because it's a lab and they start right on time, etc. I'm mindful of that, so if on a given day you might have to leave my class a minute or 2 early because you have an exam or you're giving a presentation, you've already told me, I'm cool with it. Do the same for your other professor. Say, hey, I have Dr. Schatzer before your class. She's over in the village and she talks a whole lot. She never lets us out on time. Not true, not true. But if it happened, you just let your professor know so they are already alerted to the fact that you've got that tight schedule, but you should be able to get from point A to point B in time.
So if, like, once you get into the groove of things and like repeatedly you're getting late to class, I would definitely notify them of that.
Yeah.
And realistically, just like to ease some of your worries, sometimes classes get out a few minutes earlier, or it's totally fine just to slip in a few minutes late. Just realistically, just like day-to-day life, that's how it usually works. So
Yeah.
not many worries about that.
Right. But don't assume that you'll always get out early and it's always okay to come in late, because those things are not ever true. They can happen, but not true. Just do the courtesy of notifying your professor of what's going on. If you're always late because you're oversleeping, that's on you. You need to figure it out, and it could cause a problem in your class. But it's a great idea just to talk to the professor. I don't ever suggest approaching a professor, though, with questions at the beginning of the class. That professor's trying to get the classroom set up and ready for you to go, so that person is not late to get you started. Email is a great way to let professors know about things going on. Setting up an appointment or talking to them after class can also be okay when you think about the way you need to communicate with the professor. So continue writing those questions. As soon as you are finished, we are done. You need to leave the cards up here, and you need to see Matt before you leave so he can scan your ID card. But with that, I'll see you guys on Friday. Be mindful of the time. We're also going to be next door in 363 on Friday, so don't come here, come next door. I'll see you then. Thanks.